Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a battle of AI art titans. In one corner, we have the highly anticipated Midjourney V7, and in the other, ChatGPT powerful image generation. My goal? To give you a real, no-fluff comparison so you know exactly which tool will be your go-to for creative projects. This is going to be good. So let's jump right in. First up, portrait photography. Can they nail that lifelike quality, get the lighting just right, and give us that truly professional photographic feel? So, Midjourney's outputs? They definitely appear more authentic. There's a natural feel to them that's hard to beat. ChatGPT's images, while decent, often come across as less realistic and tend to be more saturated. Now here's a curveball. I actually found ChatGPT sometimes generates more anatomically correct hands within a portrait. And while Midjourney really excels in the overall aesthetics for those cinematic style portraits, it can stumble a bit on prompt adherence if you get too specific. ChatGPT, on the other hand, showed better adherence when I threw really complex portrait prompts at it. For that pure aesthetic and natural feel in portraits, Midjourney has the edge. But if your prompt is super detailed, ChatGPT might just be your better bet for accuracy. All right, next, the hands test. We all know this is the classic AI art hurdle. Can they actually give us anatomically correct hands and understand specific gestures? Good news. Both models can produce anatomically correct hands now, which is a huge improvement. But in my testing, I found ChatGPT was consistently better at generating accurate hand positions. It really understood specific prompts like rock, paper, scissors much more effectively. For generating accurate hands and understanding those tricky gestures, ChatGPT actually performed better overall in my tests. Moving on to the cinematic look. Can these AIs create those atmospheric, movie-like scenes with dramatic lighting and compelling composition? Midjourney absolutely leads in pure aesthetics here. It creates visuals that are often breathtakingly cinematic. But, and this is a big but, it does struggle sometimes with prompt adherence and keeping the whole scene coherent. In fact, there was one instance where I actually preferred ChatGPT's result. It wasn't as initially flashy, but it followed my prompt much more closely. If you want that visual wow factor for a cinematic shot, Midjourney is your go-to. Just be prepared to potentially wrestle with coherence. If getting every detail from your prompt is critical, ChatGPT might be more reliable. Next up, text generation and image. Can they give us clear, legible, and stylistically appropriate text inside the images? Okay, let's be blunt. Midjourney is frankly terrible at text generation, even with the new V7 update. You're almost always going to get gibberish. ChatGPT, however, it absolutely excels here, producing clean, accurate text that fits the requested style. This one's a knockout. ChatGPT wins by a mile. If you need text in your images, it's no contest. Now for complex prompt adherence. How well can the AI interpret and render multiple layered elements from a really detailed prompt? In my experience, ChatGPT really excels when it comes to accurately following detailed instructions. It gets all those different components into the scene. Midjourney, while it can produce stunningly beautiful images, often struggles here, sometimes missing parts of the prompt or misinterpreting key elements. My pro tip: use ChatGPT to nail the structure and get all your details in. And then if you want to really push the visual quality, consider enhancing that image with a tool like Magnific. For complex prompt adherence, ChatGPT is the clear winner for me. Let's talk actions or poses. Can they capture dynamic movement with correct anatomy and believable body mechanics? Midjourney generally does a great job capturing dynamic motion in active poses. ChatGPT can sometimes struggle a bit more, with poses looking a little stiff or the anatomy slightly off in complex actions. And yes, let's be honest, I still find it pretty humorous when these image models generate those hilariously upside-down faces or impossibly twisted limbs. It's part of the AI art journey. Midjourney generally takes the lead for depicting dynamic action and believable poses, even with the occasional AI quirk. Next, crowds. Can they render dense, varied crowd scenes without too many visual glitches or those nightmare-fueled distorted faces? Midjourney really struggles when you ask it to generate images with many faces. You often end up with morphed or distorted features, which isn't ideal. ChatGPT in my tests actually performs better here, generating crowd scenes with more coherent, if perhaps simpler, individuals. For generating crowd scenes, especially when you need a lot of faces to look reasonably human, ChatGPT performed better. Time for some style anime prompts. How faithful are they to various anime art styles, lighting, and character expressiveness? So both models can definitely nail that iconic Studio Ghibli style, which is pretty cool to see. But I found ChatGPT to be surprisingly good at replicating specific anime styles, especially when I prompted it by a movie title. It seems to pick up on those distinct stylistic cues really well. If you're trying to replicate a specific known anime style by referencing its title, ChatGPT actually has an edge. Let's get weird. Surreal Prompts. How creative are they at fusing unrelated concepts into a cohesive, dreamlike image? Honestly, both models performed really well here. They both generated some absolutely fantastic and imaginative surreal art. It was impressive. This one truly feels like a matter of personal aesthetic preference. Both Midjourney and ChatGPT are strong contenders when it comes to creating surreal art. And finally, one-word prompts. Can they interpret abstract concepts and emotions from minimal input and turn it into something visually compelling? Midjourney really leads in what I call default creativity when you give it just a single word. It's fantastic at translating that abstract concept into a visual mood and atmosphere. Midjourney wins this round for its impressive default creativity and artistic interpretation on one-word prompts. You're going to lean on Midjourney when the artistic feel, that default creativity for abstract ideas, or the raw cinematic impact is your top priority. You're going to go with ChatGPT when you need precise execution of complex details, absolutely reliable text, accurate hands, or if you're trying to replicate specific anime styles. That's it. Let us know in the comments. Which model do you prefer? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.